A moment becomes unforgettable for a man when he feels emotionally safe with the person beside him. Emotional safety is not something dramatic or obvious. It is subtle and quiet, yet deeply powerful. It appears in the way a woman listens without judgment, the way she allows a man to express himself without fear of being misunderstood, and the way she accepts him as he is, rather than trying to reshape him. Many men move through life carrying expectations placed on them by society, family, and responsibility. Because of this, they rarely experience moments where they can simply relax and be themselves. When a woman creates that kind of atmosphere, it changes the entire emotional tone of the connection. Instead of feeling pressure to perform or impress, he begins to feel calm, open, and connected. That emotional comfort creates space for genuine interaction. It allows him to be more attentive, more thoughtful, and more emotionally present. Over time, this sense of acceptance builds trust, and trust transforms a simple interaction into something memorable. What he remembers later is not a specific action or detail, but the feeling that he could fully be himself without criticism or tension. That kind of emotional freedom is rare, and when it happens, it leaves a deep and lasting impression in his mind. When a woman creates emotional safety, she is also creating a space where a man can express vulnerability without feeling weak. Many men are taught from a young age to hide uncertainty, fear, or emotional depth. They are encouraged to appear strong at all times, even when they are struggling internally. Because of this, genuine emotional openness becomes difficult for them in many relationships. However, when a woman responds with patience, calm attention, and understanding, something begins to shift. He starts to realize that he does not have to guard every thought or emotion. The connection becomes more relaxed and authentic. In that environment, even simple conversations feel meaningful because they are honest. The moment becomes less about external excitement and more about the internal bond forming between two people. Emotional safety also allows humor, playfulness, and natural energy to emerge. Instead of worrying about being judged, he can enjoy the moment fully. That authenticity is what transforms a regular experience into a memorable one. Years later, a man might forget the exact setting or words that were spoken, but he will remember how peaceful and accepted he felt in that person's presence. That emotional memory is powerful because it reflects something every human being seeks but does not often find, a place where they can simply be real. Admiration is one of the most powerful emotional experiences a man can feel in a close connection, yet it is often misunderstood. Many people assume admiration means constant praise or exaggerated compliments, but genuine admiration is much quieter than that. It is shown through attention, respect, and the way a woman recognizes the character of the man she is with. When a man senses that someone truly values who he is, not only what he can provide, the connection becomes far more meaningful. Men often spend much of their lives trying to prove their worth through work, responsibility, or achievement. Because of this, when someone appreciates the person behind those efforts, it touches something deeper. A woman who expresses admiration in subtle ways creates a powerful emotional environment. She listens carefully when he speaks. She notices the small things he does, and she shows respect for his values and goals. These actions communicate something important without needing dramatic words. They tell him that he is seen and respected as an individual. That feeling strengthens emotional closeness and turns an ordinary moment into something memorable. When admiration is sincere, it builds confidence and warmth within the connection, allowing the interaction to feel natural rather than forced or performative. Another reason admiration has such a strong impact is that it gives a man a sense of emotional significance. Everyone wants to feel that their presence matters, but men often receive appreciation only for results rather than for who they are as people. When a woman acknowledges his effort, integrity, or determination, she is recognizing qualities that define his identity. This recognition creates a deeper emotional resonance than simple attraction alone. It encourages him to open up more, to become more attentive, and to invest more energy into the relationship. Admiration also creates a positive cycle. When a man feels valued, he naturally wants to give more of himself emotionally and mentally. He becomes more engaged, more supportive, and more present in the connection. Over time, this builds a sense of partnership rather than a superficial interaction. What makes the experience unforgettable is not a dramatic gesture, but the quiet realization that someone truly respects the person he is becoming. That respect creates emotional warmth that lasts far beyond the moment itself. Long after specific details fade from memory, the feeling of being valued and genuinely appreciated remains strong, and that emotional imprint is what turns a brief experience into a lasting and meaningful memory. Presence is one of the most underestimated elements in creating a meaningful connection, yet it is often the factor that leaves the strongest impression on a man. In a world filled with constant distractions, people rarely give each other their full attention. Phones, worries about the future, and thoughts about daily responsibilities constantly pull the mind away from the present moment. When a woman chooses to be fully present with a man, the energy of the interaction changes immediately. Presence means more than simply being physically there. It means listening carefully, observing his expressions, and responding with genuine interest. A man can sense when someone is truly engaged with him, rather than simply passing time. When a woman focuses on the moment they are sharing, it creates a quiet intensity that deepens the emotional atmosphere. He feels that the interaction matters, that the time they are spending together is valuable, rather than casual or temporary. This kind of attention creates a strong emotional imprint because it is rare. Many interactions in life feel rushed or distracted, but presence slows everything down and allows both people to experience the moment more fully. That feeling of undivided attention makes the memory stronger and more meaningful long after the moment has passed. Another reason presence matters so much is that it creates authenticity. When people are distracted or trying to perform a certain image, their behavior becomes slightly artificial. They may say things they think they should say rather than what they genuinely feel. However, when someone is fully present, they become more natural. Their reactions are real, their laughter is spontaneous, and their curiosity about the other person feels sincere. A man recognizes this authenticity quickly. Instead of feeling like he is participating in a scripted interaction, he begins to feel that the moment is unfolding naturally between two people who are comfortable with each other. This relaxed atmosphere allows deeper conversation, playful energy, and emotional connection to develop without effort. Presence also communicates respect. It tells a man that the person he is with values his time and attention enough to be mentally and emotionally available. That message carries weight because it reflects care and consideration. Over time, these moments of genuine presence accumulate into powerful memories. A man might not remember every word that was spoken, but he will remember the calm focus, the warm attention, and the sense that for that period of time, nothing else in the world seemed more important than the connection they were sharing. Respect and trust are two emotional foundations that quietly shape how a man experiences closeness with someone. These qualities do not appear instantly, and they cannot be created through dramatic gestures. Instead, they develop through consistent behavior, thoughtful communication, and a genuine appreciation for each other's individuality. When a woman treats a man with respect, she acknowledges his opinions, values his decisions, and allows him to express himself without constant criticism or dismissal. This kind of respect communicates something powerful. It tells him that he is not simply being tolerated, but truly valued as a person. Many men move through relationships where they feel misunderstood or judged, which slowly creates emotional distance. However, when respect is present, that distance begins to disappear. A man feels more comfortable sharing his thoughts and emotions because he knows they will be received with fairness rather than rejection. This comfort builds trust over time. Trust is not just the belief that someone will remain loyal. It is also the confidence that they will respond with honesty, kindness, and understanding. When a man senses that level of trust in a relationship, he becomes more emotionally invested in the connection. The moment feels genuine rather than temporary, and that authenticity is what makes the experience memorable. Trust also allows a connection to grow deeper because it removes the constant need for emotional defense. When people do not trust each other fully, they tend to protect themselves by holding back certain thoughts or feelings. This protective behavior may feel safe, but it prevents real closeness from forming. When a woman consistently demonstrates reliability, patience, and honesty, a man begins to lower those emotional defenses. He realizes that he does not need to guard every word or action. Instead, he can interact freely and naturally. This freedom creates a sense of emotional ease that strengthens the connection. Respect and trust together also encourage mutual support. When a man feels respected, he becomes more willing to support the woman in return. The interaction becomes balanced rather than one-sided. Both individuals begin to invest energy into making the relationship stronger and more meaningful. Over time, this shared effort transforms ordinary moments into powerful memories. What makes the experience unforgettable is not a specific event, but the emotional atmosphere created by respect and trust. A man remembers how stable and genuine the connection felt, how he could speak openly without fear of misunderstanding, and how the relationship allowed him to feel both confident and emotionally secure at the same time. Mystery and curiosity play a surprisingly powerful role in creating unforgettable experiences for a man. While many people focus solely on familiarity and comfort, a connection that maintains a sense of discovery tends to leave a stronger emotional imprint. Mystery does not mean being secretive or distant. Rather, it involves keeping the interaction dynamic and engaging so that there is always something new to learn about each other. When a woman allows small surprises, playful unpredictability, or subtle differences in perspective to emerge naturally, it creates excitement and anticipation. A man notices these nuances because they break the monotony of routine interactions and make the connection feel alive. Curiosity encourages him to pay closer attention, to observe more carefully, and to invest more mental and emotional energy into the experience. It stimulates his mind and emotions simultaneously, transforming simple moments into lasting memories. A connection that encourages exploration and discovery does not feel forced or contrived. It feels natural and stimulating. These qualities create a sense of engagement that keeps the interaction memorable long after it has ended. The combination of emotional warmth and mental intrigue is what makes certain moments stand out vividly in a man's memory. Curiosity also deepens emotional intimacy because it promotes genuine interest in one another. When a woman demonstrates authentic curiosity about his thoughts, experiences, and perspectives, she signals that she values his individuality. This validation strengthens the emotional bond as he feels recognized for who he truly is rather than what he is expected to be. Mystery in this sense is not about creating distance, but about encouraging attention and presence. It ensures that the connection does not become overly predictable or stagnant. In relationships where everything is obvious and expected, emotional energy can quickly fade, leaving the interaction forgettable. However, when there is a gentle sense of unpredictability and discovery, even small gestures carry significance. A casual comment, a spontaneous smile, or a subtle change in tone can feel more impactful because they hint at new layers within the person. This keeps him engaged and emotionally invested, heightening the intensity of the shared experience. Ultimately, mystery and curiosity create a dynamic balance between comfort and intrigue, allowing moments to resonate deeply. Years later, a man may not recall every detail, but he will remember the feeling of excitement, discovery, and engagement, which becomes the foundation of a memory that endures. Emotional communication is a vital component that often determines how a man remembers a connection. Words themselves are important, but the tone, timing, and context in which they are expressed often carry more weight than the actual content. A man notices whether someone listens with genuine interest, responds thoughtfully, and expresses understanding rather than judgment. The way a woman communicates before, during, and after an intimate moment can create a lasting emotional imprint. For example, a simple conversation in which feelings are acknowledged, experiences are shared, and attentiveness is evident can make him feel deeply seen. Men, like everyone, crave recognition and understanding of their inner world. When a woman engages in emotional communication that is sincere and empathetic, it establishes a sense of connection beyond the physical realm. This is why thoughtful dialogue, reassurance, and openness matter as much as, or even more than, actions themselves. A man remembers not only what is said, but how it makes him feel, accepted, understood, and appreciated. Over time, these patterns of communication become associated with safety, trust, and warmth, forming memories that remain powerful long after the immediate moment has passed. The impact of emotional communication is magnified when it is consistent and authentic. In many interactions, people focus only on the moment itself, but the exchanges before and after the connection influence how a man internalizes the experience. When a woman follows up with understanding, interest, or shared reflection, it reinforces the emotional significance of the interaction. He begins to recognize that the connection is not fleeting, but meaningful and genuine. Emotional communication also demonstrates attentiveness and presence, showing him that he is valued and his feelings are respected. Subtle expressions, such as tone of voice, gestures, or timing, can strengthen this impression without the need for elaborate words or displays. Furthermore, when both individuals participate in open dialogue, a feedback loop forms that deepens the bond. He experiences a sense of reciprocity, knowing that his thoughts and emotions are not only noticed, but mirrored with care. That kind of connection fosters a strong emotional memory because it goes beyond surface-level interaction. A man remembers the feeling of being truly heard, the reassurance of validation, and the depth of engagement. It is this authentic, attentive communication that transforms ordinary interactions into moments that are not easily forgotten. The memory is preserved not in details alone, but in the emotional resonance that lingers long after the exchange concludes. Confidence and self-awareness in a woman have a profound impact on how a man experiences a connection. Confidence is not about dominating the interaction or seeking attention. It is about being comfortable with oneself and expressing authenticity naturally. When a woman exudes calm assurance, a man perceives it as stability and security, which allows him to relax and engage fully. Self-awareness amplifies this effect because it demonstrates that she understands her own emotions, desires, and boundaries. A man notices when someone is grounded and comfortable in their own presence, and that perception makes the interaction feel effortless and genuine. Confidence combined with self-awareness reduces tension and eliminates the pressure to perform or impress. The energy between the two people becomes natural and fluid, allowing the emotional and mental connection to deepen. A man experiences the moment more vividly because he senses authenticity, trustworthiness, and emotional maturity. This dynamic fosters attraction that is more about mutual respect and engagement than superficial qualities. When a woman projects both confidence and self-awareness, it communicates that she values herself while also valuing the shared experience. This balance is compelling because it encourages reciprocity. He feels respected and understood, which increases his willingness to invest emotionally in the connection. Confidence and self-awareness also contribute to a sense of safety and ease in the interaction. A man feels secure when he recognizes that a woman is in control of her own emotions and actions. This security allows him to lower his defenses and participate in the connection fully. It also encourages spontaneity and playfulness because neither person feels compelled to overthink or manipulate the situation. Self-assuredness fosters an atmosphere where curiosity and engagement thrive, which makes the experience more memorable. Furthermore, when a woman is self-aware, she can respond thoughtfully to his needs and emotions, strengthening the emotional resonance of the moment. He senses that she is attuned not only to herself, but also to the interaction they are sharing. Over time, this creates an emotional rhythm between the two people that feels intuitive and natural. The memory of the moment lingers because it was experienced in a state of mutual presence, respect, and authenticity. Years later, he may not recall every detail, but he remembers the feeling of ease, connection, and emotional alignment. Confidence and self-awareness transform ordinary interactions into extraordinary experiences, making them resonate in ways that last far beyond the immediate encounter. The combination of calm assurance, self-knowledge, and emotional attunement leaves a subtle but indelible mark on a man's memory, creating an interaction that he does not easily forget. Shared emotional energy is the invisible force that often turns a simple interaction into an unforgettable experience for a man. It is not something that can be manufactured or forced. It emerges naturally when both people are emotionally present and engaged with each other. Emotional energy is created through mutual attentiveness, empathy, and responsiveness. When a man senses that a woman is fully tuned into the moment, listening carefully, responding thoughtfully, and matching his energy, it creates a powerful sense of connection. This shared energy amplifies the intensity of the experience because it makes him feel both seen and valued. He recognizes that the interaction is not one-sided.